Hello my 7 Deadly Sins family and friends, welcome back to another video. We've just got some dev notes and some answers to the Ask Me Anything questions that we sent along. Obviously it's not just my questions, but a lot of questions have been sent through, over 600 questions, and here is the result of it. So the devs are basically saying they're so grateful about the number of Star Guardians, giving them feedback and questions. So they're going to be answering those questions right now. They're talking about the 100-day anniversary seasonal event. This is the summer event. You'll be able to get the Mannie swimsuit outfit skin for free. The other ones seemingly will be paid. It doesn't say any other way to get it, and it doesn't actually say it's going to be paid, but from what it reads, it seems that they're going to have to be paid for, which is really unfortunate. I had hoped that they would at least give us one of these three at least free as well, but a Mannie one is free, you know. So that's that. I don't know anything about this, but they said the second week of the update there's going to be a multiplayer mini game event called Magic Pop. So this was revealed in their global game show. So if you guys know about it, do let me know. I don't know really anything about this, but as a co-op event, it sounds could be a bit of fun, you know, mini game event, get some nice rewards, and that's quite nice. So a lot of people have had massive issue with the raid on Abyss. To be honest, I think it's, I know, a little bit of a skill issue because I've showcased how you can do it. Very, very free-to-play friendly, but they're noticing that players aren't as hardcore or as skilled as some of the other players within the community, so they're making it hell difficulty, so you can still clear it, get the rewards, but for the gear drops, they're going to allow you to buy it from the exchange shop instead. So as you get stronger and stronger, you can just do the hell difficulty to get the weekly rewards, but if you want the armor set, then you'll have to exchange it or do the Abyss difficulty. Now, they go into the pet expedition, which it sounds amazing. So basically, it says that we'll be able to send out our pets to collect things of the specific regions, if it's tree sap or platinum ore. And it also says that depending on their type and grade, it will boost the overall efficiency of the expedition. So I'm not sure if it's going to be either speed or if it will be the amount extra resources. I really hope it's extra and not just speed, you know. So we'll see how it is, but they will continuously improve it as new pets come out in future updates. But this is really, really lovely, you know. Let me do that. They're talking about the pre-season leaderboard rankings, basically saying that they understand people are using glitches and bugs and stuff to get really, really fast times, and also that people are like pre-buffing in the blue area and everything before going in to the fight, and they really don't want that. They want it to be like showing your skill out instead of like pre-buffing and using glitches. So they're gonna make it so then that doesn't happen, which is quite nice. But now let's get on to the AMA. As I said, 600 inquiries is amazing. Talk about the trans difficulty. They've seen data where loads of people have tried to do it and kept failing and still not getting the rewards, and they don't want a co-op raid to be like a couple of massive whales just carrying people through. They want it to be a bit more balanced, so they're going to help with that for the future. Presets and loadouts, which is going to be so good. It's been such a pain to switch between different weapons and armors and everything. So they're going to be adding an equipment preset by weapon type. So it seems like you'll choose the weapon type of that character, and then you'll set out an armor and gear set for them. So when you switch over to that weapon, it will automatically switch your armor and gear to that set, which is really, really nice. So we don't have to do it piece by piece. Another thing about the Hawk Pass, at first it was so then we could level up our weapons and our gear quicker, and as well with our mastery, but because we can do that for free now, basically they're going to try and adjust it to make it a lot more worthwhile to get it. So that's really, really nice. A lot of people, me included, feel that Escanor is significantly weaker than the rest of the DPS or characters in the game, so they're going to improve and buff him. So they're easing the activation of the conditions of his axe and greatsword skills, enhancing their overall utility, which will be nice and much easier to use. They're also making adjustments to raise his maximum damage potential, which is going to be really, really nice, but they'll share the exact values in details in the future when the upcoming detail notices arrive. So a lot of people say they're not enough star fragments obtainable through the gameplay. They're currently focused on continuously expanding the amount of content to allow you to farm these star fragments. So we've obviously had the raid that gives us 1,000 each week, which is really, really nice. We've got the time space junction, which has given us 500 for each clear, basically, which is really nice. But they're going to look out other ways to give us more star fragments, so then we have a chance to summon for the characters we want, which is really, really nice. They've been asked to have a wide variety of events and content. Well, this 100-day anniversary kind of sounds like that's going to be it anyway. So they're going to continue to run the basic mission-based events like the key event or the collection event, or like you do something each day kind of event, which is fine. But they also want to implement ones that have more storylines and exclusive areas, similar to the like Valentine's Love event. And then obviously this summer event coming in 1.6, which is going to be really, really nice. A lot of people saying there's so much need for platinum, but there's such limited supply. We saw when the Galland area came out, it dropped from 4 nodes to 3 nodes in that area, and then in this desert temple, it dropped from 3 nodes to 2, so it's getting less. There needs to be a boost on this, especially as the needles and the scissors require so much platinum. So they're obviously closely monitoring the acquisition and consumption rate of the materials, and moving forward, platinum will be expanded in the new regions. Again, I think this is a real cop-out. Just saying this, they've said this every single time. They're saying as we release new areas, you'll be able to get more. But as they release new areas, there's more stuff for us to need platinum for. So hopefully they can improve it. So in addition to expanding these resource nodes through upcoming videos, they're also going to provide an alternative supply route. So that's going to be really interesting. So we'll see what this alternative supply route for the platinum is. So let's have a look here what it says. So in the upcoming event region, you'll be able to gather platinum, sunstone, or as well as the flower petals of pure love, which is really, really nice, as well as other things required for creating armor. So this seems like it's just going to be within the event region, but whilst this event region is out, we'll be able to gather a lot more of this ore, which is really nice to hear. Hopefully with each new event, they can do this or just give us more ways in general to get platinum. So question 8, occasionally combined attacks do not trigger properly, or ultimate move buffs fail to apply. So let's see what they say about this. So we have all reported issues about combined attacks failing, or just ultimates failing. You see the animation and nothing happens, right? They've identified an issue where combined attacks fails to execute if the partner hero is currently in the middle of a tag out animation. That's really interesting to know. I can see that happening. I've also seen it happen if your tag in skill gets blocked. So they're going to try and streamline tag out animations to address the problem and aiming to fix it within the July update. So within the next month, they should hopefully fix that, which is really, really nice. They've also identified instances where combined attacks fail to trigger due to targeting errors. Okay. So such as when no target is locked onto, or when the target is airborne from a jump or knock up. So they'll investigate to try and fix this. So here's the activation rules. I really actually wanted to know this because this is really interesting. So basically, as there's no in-game explanation, they're gonna tell us about it. So combined attack allows 2 heroes or more, because we have seen 3, right, to unleash their ultimate moves simultaneously to deal higher damage. The system calculates this by pooling the total damage of the hero's ultimate moves and distributing it across the duration of the combined attack. So instead of one big burst nuke hit, it will be over the duration of the combined ultimate. Because of this calculation process, the individual utility or buff effects tied to each hero's standard ultimate moves do not trigger independently. So, for example, Daisy's ultimate by itself will reduce crit defense, or if you used Mannie's, it would reduce the elemental resistance, or with Merlin's Ice One, it would buff her crit damage. But they said because it's a combined ultimate, they really want only the raw damage values that are combined. They didn't want the buffs and debuffs. While individual ultimate move effects are omitted during this sequence, we designed this mechanic to instantly trigger a burst effect. So basically, instead of getting the buffs or debuffs, you get an instant burst instead. It was a design choice intended to create a distinct tactical difference between using solo ultimates versus combined ultimates. In a multi-party play, a combined attack occurs when separate players trigger their ultimate moves simultaneously, fusing them into a single coordinated attack. Consequently, any zone-based effects that normally persist within an ultimate move's radius will immediately disappear once the combined attack activates. So, for example, if you use Daisy's ultimate by itself to get the crit defense down, and then someone else use Merlin's to get the crit damage buff for herself, the crit defense down that's going to be happening goes away instantly. I'm guessing it will be the timer left over on the boss or the enemy. It wouldn't just remove it straight away. But it wouldn't continuously reapply it, for example. So they understand the lack of clear in-game guidance regarding these rules has caused many confusion, but they make sure to add comprehensive in-game description detailing these exact mechanics in upcoming updates. So this is really good transparency and description of how combined attacks work. Basically, solo, you'll get what it says. Combined attacks, you won't get buffs or debuffs unless it says specifically in the text where it says, when you combine attack, this happens, right? So with the Lightning Merlin, combined attack, she gets a normal skill buff. But Ice combined attack, you only get that extra damage. You shouldn't get the crit damage buff that you are getting with Daisy at the moment because it is bugged. So they're doing some bug fixes about it, kind of like what I said. It contradicts the specification of combined attacks, and they will be fixing this. At present, Black Rook in the first elite boss in the raid is the only boss capable of inflicting status ailments. Due to this bug, certain skills that grant reaction immunity are incorrectly blocking Black Rook's stun effect. So they're going to be dealing with that. And they are basically apologising for the confusion caused by the hero skill errors. They'll monitor it closely and resolve any issues going forward. The materials required to reset engraved equipment feel unreasonable, people have said. So they've received a lot of feedback about this. As an immediate measure, we are preparing to provide more opportunities to acquire the stitcher needles and scissors through events and other channels. In the long term, they'll work to gradually improve to ensure that practical value and utility of the needles and scissors live up to our expectations, which is really nice to hear. So nothing major at the moment for the engraved equipment items to improve your engraved gear as of yet, but they'll give us more ways to obtain them and see what they can do in the future to improve it. Not bad, to be honest. Having to roam around every single day to gather resources feels far too exhausting, people have said. I don't think it's too bad, to be honest, especially if you have a good route. I suppose if you're trying to get lots, then it can feel fatigue, but anyway. So because they're introducing the pet expedition feature, this will alleviate the burden a little bit. They first allow you to automatically acquire basic materials through the pet expeditions. But then after they can analyse the impact of the new system, they may continue to implement further solutions to reduce the fatigue, which is very nice of them. So because of the pet expedition system, capturing pets significantly are more important nowadays than just a collection thing, right? They're going to add a recipe to craft a higher grade potion than the existing one. That's going to be in between the one that we can craft at the moment and the gold potions. So it'll be in between that level. So we have a more easier route to charm and capture the very, very rare ones without relying on the golden potions, which is nice. They also say that they can improve the system so that your capturing potions will not be consumed if you accidentally use one without a pet selected. So if you, for example, there's the dragonfly or the snow moth, if you try and use it, but they have dodged out of the way and it just gets used up at the moment, that's no longer going to happen. They're going to make it so then you don't lose it, basically, which is really, really nice. There's been questions about when will knighthood content be updated. They're going to release it in July, it seems. That's what their plan is at the moment. So there's going to be a knighthood boss battle and knighthood ranking, which is quite nice. And you obviously get rewards based on how good your knighthood activities and overall contribution are. So make sure you get in an active guild or knighthood. And I think it's probably the best time to do it just before the update. You have to have 24 hours after you've leave the knighthood to join another one. So try and find an active one. If you're struggling, join the official Discord. There's even a knighthood section that you can search and try and find a good, friendly group. They've asked for expansion of team formation slots. So we currently have 5, and with the amount of different things that we have to do now with the Abyss boss challenges, the raid, the time space junction, it's kind of a bit of a mess, and we kind of need more slots because we have to keep switching things over. And they said increasing the number of available slots isn't just as easy as simple UI changes. It requires a thorough technical review. So they plan to deal with this only after conducting this testing to make sure it's stable. They don't want to just chuck something in and hope it works. So it may not come out right now, but it will come out in a future release, basically. Kind of nice to know that they are happy to add some, but they want to make sure it's right and stable. It's causing, the game's causing severe overheating, and the stability feels poor, especially on mobile and PlayStation or console. So they're first prioritizing crash stabilization, and then after that they're going to look into overheating and everything else. So They have identified high resource bottlenecks within the gameplay loop and are addressing them step by step and trying to optimize them, which is really nice to try and give us a smooth and seamless experience on any device. So that's really good to know. We're getting near the bottom now, so let's hopefully see what's to come. We want to experience more story content. So we had a massive 12 chapters to begin with, which is fantastic. But then each of these story updates has just been one chapter, which has been a little disappointing, to be honest. They're saying starting with version 2.0 update, the stage will shift to an entirely new region, which will expect to allow us to deliver a much more robust and substantial storyline than before. That's going to be interesting. So we're going to go to 1.6. So we're going to have like 4 more updates before version 2.0. But I wonder what this new region will be. Let me know in the comments what new region you think it will be. Maybe it'll be the demon realm or the angel realm. That one could be pretty cool. I really don't know what else it could be, to be honest. Let me know. So they say, while completely recreating the entire original series, storyline presents significant structural challenges. They are currently developing a dedicated story mode that will allow you to directly experience the major events and iconic highlights of the original series in a condensed format. But they'll share more details of that in the future. So yeah, basically look forward to version 2, to be honest. What are their plans for rerun banners? We obviously just had a Daisy one, but I think that was more so due to mistranslation, and they didn't want other people to not have a chance to get her. So let's see what they say. A lot of people have asked for reruns of Meliodas and Clotho, because obviously Clotho is probably the best in slot. I support for Merlin, and then obviously Meliodas is just a really good character in itself. Many express a strong desire to see the rerun of heroes who serve as core DPS characters, as well as fan favourites. The development team is currently aimed to establish a regular rerun schedule, roughly centred around our half anniversary milestone. So they released around March? Was it March? I think it was March, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's what, the 3rd month, so the 9th month, so September time, right? Yeah, September time. So not too far away that we'll be able to get Meliodas Clotho. They're preparing something a bit special for the very first rerun banner. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder what that will be. Ooh, what if... Okay, this is just speculation, of course, but in Grand Cross, they did start with SSR characters, but eventually allowed you to get UR characters. What if, when they rerun Meliodas, I'm guessing, because he was the very first one to have, right, or come along, what if they released Meliodas banner again, but we could UR him at the same time? That would be really, really cool. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then the final question before the rest is bug fixes. So they didn't get through nearly as much as I'd hoped, but it is what it is. They apologise for persistent bugs and technical issues. While they have been continuously working on fixes, they're sorry for ongoing inconvenience caused by both new and remaining bugs during the gameplay. They'll continue to track down and resolve any and every issue, and without exception, and they'll do their absolute best to provide a much more stable environment. So this is really nice to hear. Basically, they're going to carry on working just to make things better. So it's been 100 days since launch, so they are so grateful, but are apologising for any negativity that has happened since then. They'll continue carefully to review the feedback of today's of us giving us for. They'll continue to review all our feedback that we share from now on, as they have been. It's been 100 days since the global launch, which is fantastic. They poured their hearts into delivering a stable service, and they feel a very deep responsibility knowing that there are still many areas that fall a bit short. They will continue to relentlessly track down and resolve ongoing issues regarding optimization and hero mechanics. They are also reviewing and refining their internal QA process to minimize the occurrence of such bugs in the first place. So this is actually really good to hear as well. This is basically them confirming that they do have testers that are testing things before it is released, but they're going to try and refine it to make it a lot better before things are released. They're expressing both profound gratitude and sincere apologies to all Star Guardians who have been with them throughout the 100 days, and they've prepared a small token as appreciation. So, in addition to this gift, we're preparing to offer even more rewards through the upcoming 1.6 update, and look forward to it with great anticipation. So, what it seems to be for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, they're going to give us 100 star fragments and 5 platinum every single day. Plus, we're going to get 2 golden potions and 20 of the purple potions. So that's quite nice, to be honest. Nothing to shy out about that. Oh, this is really nice. Okay. Brilliant Potion of Charm. Is this the new craftable one that we're going to get? Now I'm confused because obviously the Radiant one is the gold one. So maybe this is not quite the best one we can craft, and this is the best one we can craft. But we are going to get 10 Malachite and 10 Sunstone as well on top of everything else. So this is really, really nice. I know they didn't answer quite as many questions as we had hoped, but it seems that they are listening and they are wanting to make the game better for us. And to be honest, I can't be too upset about anything that has been said. I hope you guys are excited. We're going to get some nice things coming along very, very soon. We're going to get a free Mannie skin. We're going to get some more platinum. We've got the pet expedition as well. So yeah, so exciting stuff. And obviously the new summer event area. So that's going to be quite exciting. So yeah, until my next video, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until then, bye.